And welcome back to Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. I want to remind you, you can get a copy of these 2014 Nebraska High School Bowling Championships, the boys or the girls. They're being offered by the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Visit NHSBF.com and follow the links to preserve your state championship memories for a lifetime. Should be a good one here coming up in girls Class B action. Teams warming up on the lanes now. Waverly taking on Grand Island Northwest. Let's take a look at the starting lineups in for these two teams, beginning with Waverly. Third consecutive trip here to the state finals for Waverly. Head coach Craig Johnson, Jeff Furman, led by Whitney Larritson, the sophomore. Megan Solomon is a senior. Paige McCaslin, a junior. Peyton Johnson is a junior. Olivia Woolburn, only one of two seniors, and Esther Gorbin, a junior for the Vikings from Waverly. Northwest looks like this. Head coach Seth Johnson, he's had quite a week. We'll tell you about that. Caitlin Verba is a senior. Sophomore Laramie Reyes, Danielle Johnson, Kaylin Johnson, and Rebecca Green. That's the roster for the Grand Island Northwest Vikings. So Vikings taking on Vikings here for the Class B Girls Championship. All the action coming your way right here on NET Sports.
Funding for the NHSBF State Championships was provided by the Lincoln Bowling Association through grants from the Alan and Marcia Baer Foundation and the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Reminding you that more than 1,000 high school students compete statewide in varsity bowling.
No matter how you look at it, animal agriculture helps Nebraska's economy. The livestock industry provides increased tax revenues for schools and community services. Livestock enterprises also create jobs while contributing to existing businesses such as local banks and grocery stores. A thriving livestock industry helps maintain our current way of life, but also provides opportunities for the next generation of farm families. The Nebraska Soybean Checkoff helps to raise awareness of the importance of animal agriculture to Nebraska.
Hey Mom, I need to talk to you about something. You took me on campus visits and helped me with college applications, but there's still something we haven't done yet. It's time to complete the FAFSA so I can get financial aid. I know you've been stressed out about this, but don't worry. Education Quest has tons of resources on their website to make the process really easy. You guys have been there for me every step of the way. Just returning the favor.
Get help with your FAFSA at educationquest.org.
Ever wish your bank were right at your fingertips?
Hey, honey, thanks for depositing that check for me today. Love you.
Love you too.
Love you more.
I love you way more.
You're the best.
You're way better.
You're my huggy bear.
In branch, online, on your iPad, iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry, U.S. Bank is there when you need us.
They got to have their hands on them all the time.
Everyone has a cell phone and they don't want to give it up.
You can't drive down the street without seeing an adult use their cell phone.
People's lives are on their phones.
Distracted drivers are 4 times the risk of being in a crash.
Reasonable people have compared the danger associated with talking on a cell phone when you're driving to the danger of drinking and driving. And that is not an unreasonable comparison.
We've got to change society's view on texting and driving.
It is irresponsibly dangerous to talk on a cell phone while driving.
The consequences can be devastating.
The accident that I caused involved a family with kids in the car, little kids.
Convincing people to give up this thing that they really like doing is going to be really hard, but it really is a serious public safety issue.
Watch the NET production of Distracted Driving.
Coming soon to NET1.
More Nebraska High School Boys Federation Championships next weekend on NET Sports. Nebraska's best high school boys compete next Sunday beginning at 8 a.m. Central only on NET1 on the web at netnebraska.org/sports or on the new NET Nebraska app.
Just downloaded it.
Ready to go here in the Class B state championship with Steve Simpeck along with Larry Putney. Good to have you with us here. As the top two teams that seeded are getting set to square off here in the state championship. Waverly led the qualifying round with better than 3,000 total pins. Grand Island Northwest was second. Just over 2,900. Third consecutive trip here to the television finals for the Waverly Vikings. The Vikings of Grand Island Northwest. First ever trip for Seth Johnson and his team. We told you off the top about Seth that we'd have a little story, and you can see the apparatus out of the side of Seth's nose. He actually, in cheering yesterday for his girls, he ruptured a vein or ruptured an artery in his nose, couldn't get it to stop bleeding, had to go to the hospital here. They had to cauterize that artery in his nose to get the bleeding to stop. So
we weren't sure if it was that or if it was like a head bump or something, you know, a headbutt of some type, you know. And people celebrate different ways, so, you know.
He said it was because of the level of excitement, and I said, no, are you serious? It was because got so excited. He said, yeah, that's what they told me it was from. So hopefully we have an uneventful final here.
Yes. Yes, we don't need to interrupt it with the EMTs, but if we will if we have to. A pair of Vikings going at it here.
Laramie Reyes on the right lane with the Brooklyn and gets the strike. So Grand Island Northwest out to the quick start. On the left lane, Whitney Larrittson, the sophomore, had the split. Comes up with two of those, and Waverly down quickly by 10. Now up on the right lane is number 8, Rebecca Green. A senior for the Vikings. Crossover. So we can just say Vikings all afternoon.
Yes, we can.
Won't be wrong.
We won't screw that up. Waverly's been here plenty of times. Lots of runners up, but waiting for that first trophy.
Megan Salmon saws that in half and gets the strike for the Vikings. And here's Green. Needs to hook a little and does. Good spare conversion for Rebecca Green. Up on the left lane, Paige McCaslin. McCaslin just a sophomore for Waverly.
Nice straight arm swing.
Busses it over, leaves the 6 pin. And now here's Katie Verba. Verba, a senior. That'll have to go Brooklyn 2 and keeps scooting that way and picks off 3 on the left side.
Take a little time for everybody to get loose on television here. First bit of jitters. Cross lane with a spare ball. Very hard surface plastic ball. She came out of that just a little funny there, Larry. Didn't come out of it with the proper hand position. Caused her to pull the shot so much that couldn't get the ball far enough right to pick up that spare.
Grand Island Northwest loses a lot on the count on the spare and then the open. And that will keep the match fairly even, just a 4-pin difference. Here's Peyton Johnson, the lefty for Waverly. Great shot by Peyton. Now up on the right lane, junior Danny Johnson.
A lot of loft there. Shot. Got a good contingent that drove in from Grand Island this morning. Snowy roads, but braved the cold and the snow to come on out. It's been great crowds all week all weekend at all 3 bowling centers.
Olivia Woolburn, the senior, averages 201 and puts them all in the pit.
Great shot.
Big double for the Vikings.
We're now into Class B, which means 5-player teams. So your top bowler will usually bowl frames 5 and 10. Occasionally you'll see the leadoff bowler also be inserted as maybe a go-to player for a strike where you need to lead off and get a strike going. You'll sometimes in Baker Bowling see one of your better players in the first position, because they'll also throw the 6th frame, which if you're in the middle of a game and need something to turn around, that person can throw a strike and get things headed in the right direction. But 5 players, so your anchor bowler, 5th and 10th frame.
There's Kaylin Johnson, who picks the 3 off, and the double by Waverly gives them the lead as we switch lanes.
Well, the Waverly girls are part of a program that's been around a long time, a lot of success, both boys and girls, and they went 9-0 in their conference this year, and just pretty much swept through about everything. But now the time for you to get your mug on TV, it changes your mindset a little bit. Everybody seems to be a little tentative, trying to figure out the lane conditioning pattern here at Sun Valley Lanes. Sun Valley Lanes here in Lincoln is a 32-lane house with synthetic lanes. Pretty much typical now in most of the larger bowling centers, and many of the major cities you'll most likely see synthetic lanes. Some areas still, some of the smaller centers, some of the smaller schools might still have wood lanes, but really synthetic lanes now are the norm, and heavy concentration of oil in the center part of the lane and a little less towards the outside. Right there on that spare attempt, right around the 2nd arrow, the 10th board, is that area where the ball will start to hook. So most of these girls, if you're right-handed, are going to be playing right around the 2nd arrow, which is just a little bit right of the pocket. Ball will hook in. But I think they're all still kind of getting their legs underneath them for first time on TV for many of them.
Salmon leaves the 5-7.
Now she was right about the same area of the lane as she was earlier when she struck, but that ball just skidded a little too far, so instead of the 5 going into the 7 and striking, she leaves a split, 5-7.
Still right now a slight lead for Waverly after the open in the 6th. This will be an important spare for Grand Island Northwest. Difficult conversion here for Waverly. We got a chance. Got it. Big conversion for Waverly.
Kind of a smug little grin there from Megan. It's like no big deal. Should have struck anyway. Cross lane, important spare here to keep things tight.
And a good cover. So both teams mark in the 7th after the conversion by Rebecca Green. Now here on the right lane, Castlin.
But left to target there, Larry, and that causes that ball to go across on the Brooklyn side.
Good pin count. So now on the left lane, here's Katie Verba. Verba, a senior for Northwest.
Kind of stuck a little bit on the approach there. Lunged a little forward at the point of release. Going at the spare with that spare ball. And, you know, as I said earlier in our earlier match, I think it was in the Class D match, about how people will change bowling balls to go at spares, and there's people do it both ways. They can either throw the ball hard and straight or use the same ball or change balls, but a lot of times that different ball will feel different on the inside. The grip and the feel of the inside of your thumb hole, your finger holes are different enough to cause you to not come out of it consistently, and it just doesn't look like that spare ball she's using she has any confidence in it. So she's 50% on her spares. That was Paige.
Now up on the left lane, there's Danny Johnson. And she trips the 4-pin forward.
Great shot.
So still a tight match here as we head into the 10th frame. An important spare here for Waverly, and Johnson covers it. So a good conversion by Peyton Johnson, one of the junior leaders out of this team. Now the anchor bowlers, it's their turn with the game in the line. Kaylin Johnson, little high. Work to do left with the 6-10. Big shot coming here for Olivia Wolburn. 6-pin lead. Good count here, and good count after a spare would give them the win. So all she has to do is pick that up and get good count, and they'll take game number 1. Lost a spare here for Northwest, and they got it. So essentially that means that if Olivia Woolburn picks this up, they take game number 1.
She switches to a plastic ball, which will go straight for her spares.
Good cover under pressure. That's not easy to do. Lights, camera, action, pressure, game on the line. You see the deep breath, the sigh of relief. Good count here. Will force good count on the other side, and it does. And she finishes with 163. 6 pins is what Olivia needs. 6 pins for the victory.
See her eyes focusing on her target.
Likes the shot, and she got it. So a nice job out of the blocks for Waverly, who certainly has the experience. They've been here before. This their 3rd consecutive trip here to the finals. They've yet to win. Hey, 3rd time's a charm.
Yes, sir.
It can be.
Great crowds all weekend, as we said, with packed houses at all 3 bowling centers.
167, 163 was the final.
Coach is giving a little instruction here, talking about some possible adjustments on the lanes as now everybody seems to have gotten past the initial jitters of being on TV.
We hope Coach Seth Johnson has too.
Yes.
It's very important. Crossover there by Laramie Reyes. And here's Whitney Larritzen. She was money in practice, right around the pocket, feeling very confident. The first 2 shots have both been awry.
I like that little practice swing that she takes there. Ball got a little away from her, but little muscle repetition, trying to keep that arm straight. Just got a little fast there.
Reyes to convert the spare, needs to slide, and it didn't.
She kind of stood up a little on that one, Larry. You need to, of course, you know, if you bend your knee a little bit, you're actually closer to the lane than you are when you stand up and let go of it, and that can cause the ball to hook a little early on you. She was pretty upright and straight when she released that shot.
High and good conversion there for Whitney Larritzen. We have really seen the growth of high school bowling here in Nebraska within the state, and the job that the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation has done for high school athletes and high school bowlers around the state. Provided them a forum and a venue to excel and gain confidence and learn team concepts.
It's really just such a great opportunity, especially for kids that may not be the consummate football, softball, basketball, volleyball player, although there's nothing that would stop them from doing that in their respective sports seasons. But it really is exciting because statistics have shown over the last 7 years how so many of the student athletes we have competing in high school bowling through the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation aren't playing any other sports or doing other activities. So we're not really stealing kids from other sports or other activities.
Big shot by Waverly in a big situation. That's a double for the Waverly Vikings, and the Northwest Vikings have gone back-to-back single pin opens. But you're right, Steve, 85% of those athletes involved in bowling, that's all they do in high school.
Yes.
Good crossover, timely.
We have a couple of kids that bowl in our Elkhorn programs at our facility that put on their bio sheets that really it's all they have to look forward to in high school outside of their athletics. And, it makes a big difference, and we're just excited that it continues to grow.
A 3-bagger after that strike by Peyton Johnson, and now the Northwest Vikings will try to keep pace, leaving the 5-pin on the crossover. And now the anchor bowler, Woolburn, is on the lanes with an opportunity to make it 4 in a row.
Good shot right in the track area of the lane. Well done.
And a great shot with the carry.
Big time 4-bagger there has got them out to a commanding lead already.
And a good cover. You see a lot of these young ladies, Steve, with the wrist brace and the wrist supports, and some of the old Robbies type like the one you see here. Others, the newfangled, twist it up, dial it up. Well, gain some strength in their hand to be able to hook the ball a little better.
Not gonna pick on the girls, but occasionally you'll see more female bowlers with the assisted devices for their wrists, and a lot of that is just the difference in muscle structure between men and women. But there's still plenty of guys that wear all sorts of different types of wrist supports, and
yep,
depends upon what you're looking for. Especially in today's modern game with so many people hooking the ball, you actually probably see less and less of them, as you need to have that wrist snap to be able to get your hand around the ball to create the massive amount of revolutions you see, especially like in places like on the PBA Tour and in some collegiate bowling. But you'll see some with, some without. I am an old school bowler somewhat, and believe that the traditional type of bowling is similar to that shot there, where you're playing a little straighter, a little more down and in like Whitney did there. Nothing wrong with that. You might not get the massive big time strikes that you see with pins flying everywhere, but it keeps you out of trouble too. Four and the 5 on lane 27 for Whitney. Waverly far enough ahead where going for the conversions probably.
And you saw her turn to her coach, Jeff Berman, and say, "What do I move?" And he probably gave her some direction on how many boards to move right, throw your strike ball. Well, many of these players still adjust off of their strike ball to pick up spares.
Got to get over there fast.
And that will extend the Waverly lead. They now lead it.
About 60 pins in the 60 or more pins in the lead, and they just keep chugging along here. That ball hung on her thumb just a little bit, but she was in the right area of the lane where the conditioner was the heaviest, so that ball skid down the lane and had no problems holding pocket there. It's another good release. Good shot, and finally Grand Island Northwest with the second strike.
Rebecca Green gets the rack to rattle and carries him. There's Paige McCashlin. McCashlin, good shot. 10-pin still remains, but they are in control of this. And an important double opportunity here for Northwest. Katie Verba needs it, got it. That's a big one if they're going to get back into it. Slide and slides right by the 10. So the door opens just a crack here for Northwest in game number 2.
It's going to take a complete meltdown by Northwest, or by Waverly, to get Northwest back into the game.
It's a crack.
Strikes. It's still open.
It's a crack.
It's still open. Stranger things have happened. Potential 189 if Grand Island Northwest can strike out in the 10th, but all really needs some mark. And that will sew it up. Spare here will, and some count, will wrap up game 2. Must strike ball here.
Well, they certainly have done everything that they could the latter half of the game. 4 in a row now for Northwest, but it was that first 6 frames in which they missed 3 single pins that will likely end up costing them here as Peyton Johnson knocks down the spare, and that will all but do it. 64-74, yep.
needs 6 pins to shut him out. Of course, Kalen Johnson needs to strike 2, and that's not going to climb the hill.
That will do it. Three single pin misses and then a 3-6 on a spare, just too much to overrun. Woolburn now in the pocket.
Just been in and around the pocket every shot. Just good arm swing, playing in that track area of the lane right around the second arrow, and just a couple of bad breaks leaving the 10. She gets her spare ball out to begin to shoot that. So 2-0 lead now for Waverly. That bright pink ball is a plastic ball, straight polyester that has a lot less grip on the lanes. You can tell by how shiny it is, and it is a plastic ball versus a urethane ball. So this ball will go very straight, and not straight enough at that, but had that in the bag already. So
192 to 175 is the final in game number 2. So Waverly takes the first 2, and the Vikings, looking for their first ever state championship, are just 1 game away. The Vikings of Waverly, that is. Vikings of Northwest
really
need 3 straight.
Sorry, Larry. Grand Island Northwest with a $1.60 and a $1.70.
Yeah,
not bad scoring. Not bad scoring. We've seen teams win with 120 and 130 in the past. So, you know, just 3 open frames there for Northwest. It was literally the difference in that match again. So, spare shooting, spare shooting, spare shooting. We talk about that all the time. And, you know, we have a tendency to see a lot of teams go in and just practice on hitting the pocket, and that's important. It's just like golf. You need to be able to drive it into the fairway, and it's always fun to hit the driver to see how far you can hit it. But if you can't chip and putt, then it really doesn't do very much good. So bowling is the same way. Spare shooting is really every bit as important in the game as it is finding the pocket and being able to throw strikes.
Larritzen, you saw, left the 10 pin. Here's Laramie Reyes. Reyes right in the pocket. She'll leave the 6 pin. Waverly yesterday was seeded number 1 overall, had the highest qualifying score among those teams in Class B. Grand Island Northwest not too far behind, finishing in 2nd. Waverly then in the stepladder finals. The top 8 teams are seeded. They play head-to-head Baker matches in a best-of-5 situation. So Waverly beat Seward 3-0, then knocked off Hastings in a tough one. Hastings was the defending state champion. Beat Hastings 162 to 137 to advance to the championship. Grand Island Northwest won against Alliance and knocked off York.
Shot of how she focuses her eyes on the rangefinders. The target's out there on the lane. Just that ball was a little further left than she wanted it to be, and sometimes when you pull the ball far enough left, it'll cross over. But that particular time, the ball was moving away from the 1-3 pocket, but being so far inside, so much oil in the center of that lane, the ball skid and never grabbed, just like there. Just enough conditioner there where the ball just couldn't grip the lane.
So Grand Island Northwest can take the lead with a mark here.
Got to go straight at it, and that's not going to be close enough to be straight at it. So
Caslin back up on the left lane for Waverly.
There's that practice swing. Trying to repeat that muscle memory, get the ball to swing straight. That was really a pretty good shot, Larry. It looked like it was going to be near the pocket, but leaves an easy spare. Good look there. Page. Going to have to lay off just a touch.
Verba just a little high. Leaves the split. Caslin. Opportunity to extend that Waverly lead.
Straight down the middle for the 5-pin. Very well done. See, you don't need to squeeze the ball and have massive amounts of revolutions. You can just be resourceful. Play right where you need to play in the lane and be accurate. cross lane at the 4-7-10. Went for the 2 count. So each team kind of in a little bit of a lull here. 3-pin lead for Waverly.
Peyton Johnson got the 10-pin out. Peyton has really improved over the last couple of years, improved by about 20 pins over last year to this year. She's been working hard in her game.
That's a good shot, Larry, right there.
Right in the pocket. So Danny Johnson with the strike for Grand Island Northwest. And Peyton Johnson with the spare for the Waverly Vikings.
Watch how she keeps her eyes looking down at her target. Pulled it just a little bit there. Catches the break.
Got the carry. That's a big double for Northwest. They were trailing by 12. Now have evened it up.
That's left the target also. Ball holds pocket.
And you can see the wrist brace that Olivia is wearing is a little maybe heavier, more substantial than some of the old Robbies. These are the kind that you can actually,
there you go.
You can adjust and you can turn up the angle on your hand and how much you want your wrist to break.
You can adjust that with the different settings to kind of help you release the ball and keep your hand and wrist in a certain position, which would either increase your hook or possibly decrease your hook. And a lot of different ways to do it. Just have to find out what is comfortable for you.
Opportunity here for Northwest to open up a big lead. They're up by 10 now, but a strike would make it a 20-pin lead. Off of the open in the 5th from Waverly. Here's Laramie Reyes looking for the 3-back. Crosses over.
Get it.
Doesn't quite get the 7 to go. And now Waverly with the state championship just a game away, trying to crawl back in.
Down by about 20 right now. Strike here will get the match close to even. Oh, just a tough break.
That's the same 4-5 she left just a few frames ago.
Ball just a little late finishing, went down the lane, but made a good charge towards the pocket, but ball comes in behind the 5. Couldn't carry it out. And, Grand Island Northwest just needs to convert some spares and hang in there. Waverly has seemed to have lost the striking line, the line to the pocket. Everybody seems to be fishing a little bit out there. This split conversion would go a long way to helping that, but Waverly Grand Island Northwest still in the lead.
Just by 10. You see her walking over to coach and what do I do? Where do I move? That crosses over. There's 6:10 remaining. Now up on the right lane, here's Megan Salmon.
Megan's got good form. Eyes down at her target. Slow footwork. Ends up with good form at the foul line. Right there. Great shot.
Great shot. That's that Scream roto grip ball she's throwing. Rips the rack.
Spare.
So now an opportunity for Waverly to even this up.
Strike here puts them in the lead, Larry. They'll have a double working.
It's going to be close. Climb a little bit. Right there. Got it.
Just a straight arm swing. Just, minimal amount of room for error there with that nice, easy, smooth straight arm swing.
Really responded after being down by 10 with the double. And now one of the stronger players. Here's Peyton Johnson with an opportunity to take the lead.
Peyton chooses to not wear a wrist brace. She has good straight arm swing, good rotation on the ball.
That'll get back. Just too much.
I think she needs to just probably move in towards the center of the lane a little bit, maybe 3 or 4 boards with her eyes and feet to play an area of the lane that's a little less with a little more oil, I should say. Grand Island Northwest with a spare here could begin to wrap things up, but just can't seem to do it. Big time spare here.
Waverly has now regained the lead. Oh, and around the front of the 10 pin. What a shot by Peyton. Nearly had it. So that opens the door just a sliver. Because now it's 134 in the ninth for Waverly. Grand Island Northwest is up now in the ninth. Here is Johnson. She needs a mark to even things up. Got it. What a big shot for Danny Johnson. So with the strike working in the ninth, they can take a lead with a double. So Woolburn.
It's a little bit right at target.
Got it to come back,
shot,
but
though.
didn't quite finish hard enough.
Okay, she needs to just gather herself and pick the spare up.
Big strike, big shot here. If this is a strike, they take the lead.
Oh, tough spare, Larry.
And so, key right now for Olivia Woolburn to pick this up. Woolburn needs the spare to force Northwest to spare. You can see her take her time.
Great shot.
Solid shot by the senior from Waverly.
Might have been a state championship spare right there.
Been.
Possible 154 for Waverly.
So now Northwest, Caitlin Johnson, must have this spare or Waverly wins the state championship.
It's got a hook.
And Waverly will win state. 144 already for the Waverly Vikings. Northwest with 138. And Olivia with the focus. The solid shot. The carry, not quite, but that will do it. The Vikings of Waverly find that the third time is a charm. State champs for Waverly.
Well, it came down to accuracy and spare shooting, and it sounds like a lot of coach speak, but you have to be able to pick your spares up to remain in matches, especially when they're that close, Larry. And even though Waverly had more strikes, they made less errors, and you're seeing what the exact end result is from being able to clean things up in bowling.
So congratulations to the head coaches, co-head coaches, Craig Johnson, Jeff Berman, and the entire Waverly Vikings. They are third-time state champs.
First time in 3 tries.
Whether it's spring planting, fall harvesting, or just a drive across the state, soy biodiesel helps a diesel-powered engine operate in a demanding job. Soybean oil from Nebraska soybeans makes biodiesel a renewable fuel that's also environmentally responsible. The soybean checkoff plays a major role in supporting the use and availability of biodiesel. The Nebraska Soybean Board, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Ever wish your bank were right at your fingertips?
Hey, honey, can I keep it? I know, right? I'm gonna go strap it to the car. Mom, do you have any idea how expensive books are?
It was such a lovely time. Oh, you know what? Don't forget to give me that. Whoops, that was expensive. I can pay for that.
In branch, online, on your iPad, iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry, US Bank is there when you need us.
Hey Mom, I need to talk to you about something. You took me on campus visits and helped me with college applications, but there's still something we haven't done yet. It's time to complete the FAFSA so I can get financial aid. I know you've been stressed out about this, but don't worry. Education Quest has tons of resources on their website to make the process really easy. You guys have been there for me every step of the way. Just returning the favor.
Get help with your FAFSA at educationquest.org.
Funding for the NHSBF state championships was provided by the Lincoln Bowling Association through grants from the Alan and Marcia Bear Foundation and the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Reminding you that more than 1,000 high school students compete statewide in varsity bowling.
Tom Kelly's Pro Shop is your home for bowling supplies. Established in 1980, the shop offers 45 different shoe styles, including the complete line of Brunswick, thousands of balls, and over 200 different styles of bags. A father and son team with experience in drilling since 1958. Use customized hand measuring and the latest equipment to provide you with the right fit. You can walk in, find everything you need, and go bowling the same day. Tom Kelly's Pro Shop, located in Omaha and Norfolk.
Next time on Frontline,
I like
the power of like.
Companies know how to turn like into money.
This is my first bite of a Cool Ranch Burrito Taco.
Your consumer is your marketer.
Inside Generation Like.
Tuesday night at 9 Central Time on NET1.
Back at Sun Valley Lanes, Waverly wins its first state championship after being here 3 consecutive years. Let's go down. Here's Steve Simpen.
Thanks, Larry, my friend. We're here with Craig Johnson, head coach, and Olivia Wilburn, a senior from the team. And third time's a charm. After things kind of began to maybe get a little bit away from you there in the middle of one of those games, you being this big senior, did you have any words of wisdom for the gals?
Just got to keep it up, pick up our spares, and they know what to do from there.
So now you've bowled all 4 years now through Waverly, through your high school career at Waverly, and it had to be excruciating the last couple times, finishing second each time. How about Coach Craig here? Did he threaten to take away your cell phone or really penalize you if you didn't win this time?
No, he just felt like this was our year, and we all felt it too, and we've tried really hard this year, and determination that got us here.
Well, Craig, you guys are mainstays here at the state finals. You always seem to make the final day on Saturday, and then you've made the TV show several times. Anything different this year from last year aside from winning?
I'd say the biggest thing is our girls really went away from last year and knew that they needed to improve their game. Olivia really went out and improved. Peyton, Whitney, they all went out and improved their game, knowing they needed to step it up if they wanted to be here again. And, there's a lot of luck to get here. It's not just all easy. So, congratulations to Grand Island Northwest. And they bowled great yesterday, and they should be proud to be here. So, it's tough to get here.
Yes, it is. Well, either way, the Vikings are going to win today, Larry. But today, the state champions for Girls Class B, the Waverly Lady Vikings. Congratulations, guys. Appreciate it very much. Larry, back to you.
All right, thanks, Steve. Congratulations one more time to Waverly, which wins its first state championship. Hey, also yesterday the singles competition was held, and the top 5 being first team All-State, second team All-State. Your medalist was Christiana Haney out of Blair, shot .552, and you see Waverly as well as Hastings in there among the top 10. Now for the presentation of medals and trophies, let's go down to our public address announcer. Here's Greg Porci.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more round of applause for our 2 finalists? And now for the awards presentation. Your Class B girls runner-up, the Grand Island Northwest Vikings. Head coach Seth Johnson and assistant coach Shelly Green. Number 27, Katie Verba. Number 25, Laramie Reyes. Number 4, Danny Johnson. Number 22, Kaylin Johnson. Number 8, Rebecca Green. And ladies, here's your runner-up trophy. Congratulations to the Grand Island Northwest Vikings, your Class B girls runner-up. Now, here's your 2013-2014 Class B Girls Champions, the Waverly Vikings. Coached by Craig Johnson and Jeff Berman. Double 0, Whitney Larrittson. Number 12, Megan Solman. Number 41, Paige McCaslin. Number 17, Peyton Johnson. Number 11, Olivia Woolburn. Number 7, Esther Gorbin. And ladies, here's your championship trophy. Once again, congratulations to the 2013-2014 Class B Girls Champion.
And congratulations once again to Waverly, the girls state champions in Class B. When we come back, Class A state championship on the way. A couple of Lincoln teams will battle. Lincoln Southeast taking on East when we come back on NET Sports.
No matter how you look at it, animal agriculture helps Nebraska's economy. The livestock industry provides increased tax revenues for schools and community services. Livestock enterprises also create jobs while contributing to existing businesses such as local banks and grocery stores. A thriving livestock industry helps maintain our current way of life, but also provides opportunities for the next generation of farm families. The Nebraska Soybean Checkoff helps to raise awareness of the importance of animal agriculture to Nebraska.
Behind the Outlet, Nebraska Public Power District is passionate about preserving and restoring Nebraska's resources. Whether rescuing fish during canal repair work, protecting avian species on the Platte River, or complying with all environmental standards at our power generating facilities, we actively balance our environmental responsibilities with meeting Nebraska's ever-changing energy needs. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
Funding for the NHSBF state championships was provided by the Lincoln Bowling Association through grants from the Alan and Marcia Bear Foundation and the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Reminding you that more than 1,000 high school students compete statewide in varsity bowling.
When something's difficult, like defying gravity, or navigating the new healthcare law, why face it alone? Call or visit us at the Blue Store at nebraskablue.com. Ask Blue your questions like, what's required? And can I get help paying for it? Then rely on Blue to help you navigate the system. Most Nebraskans are required to have health insurance or face penalties. Time is almost up. Get what you need. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska.
NET Sports brings the best Nebraska high school and college athletics into your home. Now, NET Sports is on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/NET Sports to like us and get all the latest updates. Right on our timeline, watch highlights from our live events, and check out our exclusive in-depth background features. It's all on facebook.com/NET Sports and facebook.com/Big Red Wrap-Up.
Everyone has a cell phone and they don't want to give it up.
Distracted drivers are 4 times the risk of being in a crash.
Reasonable people have compared the danger associated with talking on a cell phone when you're driving to the danger of drinking and driving.
We've got to change society's view on texting and driving.
It is irresponsibly dangerous.
Watch the NET production of Distracted Driving.
Friday night at 7 Central Time on NET1.
Our final championship of the morning, and want to remind you, you can pick up a DVD of these championships. Just log on to NHSBF.com and preserve these Memories for a Lifetime. Both boys and girls state championship DVDs are available. The final one is in Class A. Lincoln Southeast will take on Lincoln East, an intra-city battle here in Lincoln. A couple of teams who candidly might be a little shocked to be here. Let's take a look at the Knights from Southeast. Head coaches Kelsey Dunkel and Pat Doherty, Elena Meter, Amber Neiman, Emily Schilke, Abby Rydell, Sierra Johnson, Kia Broderson, and Kayla Prater for the Knights of Lincoln Southeast. The Spartans of East, Skylar Halverson, Caitlin Hart, Molly Gardner, Brianna Zimmer, and Mackenzie London, 4 juniors and a senior. That's all they brought with 5. We'll see those 5 throughout the day. When we come back, Class A state title on the line right here on NET Sports.
Funding for the NHSBF state championships was provided by the Lincoln Bowling Association through grants from the Alan and Marcia Bear Foundation and the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Reminding you that more than 1,000 high school students compete statewide in varsity bowling.
Whether it's spring planting, fall harvesting, or just a drive across the state, soy biodiesel helps a diesel-powered engine operate in a demanding job. Soybean oil from Nebraska soybeans makes biodiesel a renewable fuel that's also environmentally responsible. The soybean checkoff plays a major role in supporting the use and availability of biodiesel. The Nebraska Soybean Board, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Ever wish your bank were right at your fingertips?
Hey, honey, thanks for depositing that check for me today. Love you.
Love you too.
Love you more.
I love you way more.
You're the best.
You're way better.
You're my huggy bear.
In branch, online, on your iPad, iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry, U.S. Bank is there when you need us.
Hey Mom, I need to talk to you about something. You took me on campus visits and helped me with college applications, but there's still something we haven't done yet. It's time to complete the FAFSA so I can get financial aid. I know you've been stressed out about this, but don't worry. Education Quest has tons of resources on their website to make the process really easy. You guys have been there for me every step of the way. Just returning the favor.
Get help with your FAFSA at educationquest.org.
Nebraska's best high school bowlers compete for state championships in the sports crowning event. See all the action when the boys take the lanes and find out who captures top honors on Nebraska High School Boys Bowling Championships, Sunday morning, February 23rd, beginning at 8 Central on NET1. A webcast is also available on the web at netnebraska.org and on the new NET Nebraska app.
Hello, I'm Kevin Kugler, inviting you to join the NET Sports Partners Club. With your support, NET brings you hundreds of hours of sports action each year. You count on NET for Husker Volleyball, Big Red Wrap-Up, and all the outstanding college and high school championship sports action in Nebraska. NET is Nebraska's home for sports, and sports partners like you make it happen. Thank you.
Back at Sun Valley Lanes here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Reminder, you can check out our webcast at netnebraska.org/sports. Along with Steve Simpak, I'm Larry Putney. Good to have you with us as we get set for a Class A girls showdown between the Southeast Knights and the East Spartans. 2 Lincoln teams making it here to the finals, but as I said earlier, both a bit surprised, candidly, to be here. In fact, Southeast finished 5th in conference play. East finished 7th in conference play. And by the way, East lost 2 of its bowlers right before districts. And so they were down to 5 bowlers, had to bring somebody up from junior varsity to the varsity. And they just got on a roll. And that's what happens in Baker play. You get on the roll at the right time, you knock off some highly ranked teams. Neither one of these 2 teams ranked in the top 5. None of the top 5 ranked teams obviously here. Pius was ranked number 1, North Star 2, North Platte, Lincoln Northeast, and Columbus were your top 5 teams. And these 2 disposed of those teams. As Lincoln East knocking off North Star. Southeast knocked off Pius, the 10th. That's a pinhead.
I think that's officially a minion is what that is.
Looked like a pinhead to me.
Well, as you said, Larry, in Baker style bowling, it's who can come together as a team. And for those of you that at home that haven't figured it out yet or just tuned in, Baker style bowling is where the entire team bowls a single game. So your leadoff bowler will bowl the first frame, as Abby Riedel is right here. She will also come back to bowl the 6th frame. Bowler 2 bowls frames 2 and 7, then 3 and 8, 4 and 9. Your anchor bowler will bowl the 5th frame and the 10th frame.
Abby Rydell comes up light, leaves 4. Now on the right-hand lane, Lincoln East's Skylar Halverson. Halverson also with some work to do yet. These two teams in qualifying. Southeast finished 5th out of 8 teams in qualifying. Lincoln East finished 7th of those 8 teams. Qualifying was led by Pius X, 33-30, North Star with 33-19, and North Platte were 1-2-3. So an early mark, and Southeast on the board with the lead. Here's Elena Meter. Elena, a senior, averages 156. Is that a bit wide? And 1-2-8.
Sorry, Larry, having a little trouble with the approach there, it looked like. She kind of stuck just a little bit at the foul line, caused her to miss that pocket to the right.
So Caitlin Hart now. And Elena Meyer on the left-hand lane now. Needs to climb the hill. And that 2-pin just slid right by the 8. So now Caitlin Hart, the junior. Brand new to the team. She was brought up from JV. Prior to 2 weeks ago, had not bowled varsity. Left-hand lane, Emily Schilke. Schilke crosses over. Schilke just a sophomore. 4 juniors, 1 senior on this Lincoln East squad. Molly Gardner. Straight up the boards, a little high. And now Schilke on the left-hand lane for the spare conversion. Chops the 1. Rough going here early for both of these teams. 1 spare through 5 bowlers. Let's see if Molly Gardner can change that. Line got it. So both teams with 1 spare through 3 frames, and they're nearly even between Southeast and East in this best-of-5 Baker match. Amber Neiman, the junior, for Southeast. Good roll by Neiman, and a nice shot. On the right lane, Bree Zimmer. Bree climbs and does not trip a 10-pin.
Good shot, Larry. Just ball enters the pocket a little bit late. Can't kick that 10-pin out.
Lucky to get that 4-pin out.
Another good shot. Just a tough break, leaving the 9. Cross lane, got to get those spares.
Bree Zimmer slides it right by that single pin spare. Both teams still trying to find their way here early. Here's a solid looking player, Sierra Johnson. And Sierra with the single pin conversion. Sierra from a long line of bowlers in her family. Her older sister bowling collegiately, Lauren Johnson. Dad, Jason Johnson. Little rattler there by Mackenzie London.
Teams will switch sides now for the remainder of the first game. Strike by Lincoln East keeps it about a 2-pin lead right now for Lincoln Southeast.
Abby Rydell now back up. Abby just a sophomore. This is a young Southeast squad. 3 sophomores, 2 juniors, a freshman, and 1 senior. Lincoln Southeast. Kelsey Dunkel and Pat Doherty have got a bright future on their hands with this Southeast team.
Well, the Lincoln area, the Lincoln public school system, every one of the schools producing great bowling talent. It's not a whole lot of other areas in the United States that would rival the popularity of bowling better or have more popularity than the city of Lincoln. Lincoln, and it's been a testament to the bowling proprietors and the local United States Bowling Congress associations, the men, women, and youth here in Lincoln. It's always been a just well run. They take care of the bowlers, proprietors in town. John Aceto here at Sun Valley Lanes, Bill Hoppy, Bob Davis, Cyril Kopp at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl, and the Madsen family over at Madsen's. Everybody just takes care of people here in town, Larry. The rest of us in the state get a little jealous once in a while at the popularity of bowling here in Lincoln.
Elena Meter with the strike you just saw. East trying to answer. Trips out that 4 away from the 5 and gets the 7 and the 4. So now back up in the right-hand lane. Here's Emily Schilke working on a strike. A chance for the double. Mixer and got it. What a big shot by Schilke.
Comes out of that ball really early. Ball lands almost squarely on the foul line, but she hit her mark. Ball rolled up, carried the wall shot.
Needing a spare to hang in there. Good cover. But the double by Lincoln Southeast has given them the lead. And now here on the right-hand lane, Amber Neiman. Neiman the junior, that's not going to get back. Does a little bit, leaves the 2-pin. Molly Gardner also comes up a bit light. A 6-pin lead right now for Lincoln East. Lincoln Southeast with the 6-pin. That slides by, and that lead might have just evaporated. So let's see if Lincoln Southeast decides to go ahead and bowl, or if they decide to wait for East to catch up. East a full frame and a half behind. As Molly Gardner covers the single pin. Sierra Johnson says, not waiting for anybody. I'm going to go. There's Pat Doherty, one of the co-coaches for Southeast.
Nice roll on that ball. She's probably just about a board or two playing just a little too far right. But just a great fundamental game there by Sierra Johnson.
Bree Zimmer crosses it over. Doesn't get the carry, and after that missed single pin from Southeast, this is an important one for East to regain the lead. They need this spare. And Sierra Johnson needs the spare as well. Got it! Just got there. That kept them in the match. Kept them in game 1 anyway. So needing this spare to take the lead for East. And solid cover. An important spare there by Sierra Johnson, and now Sierra would like 10 to force the count for Lincoln East.
Needs a lot of pins here. It's going to be wide to the right.
She moved out. She moved right there too.
She kind of lost that at the bottom of the swing, 151.
So good count, a spare, and good count, and Lincoln East will win this. Mackenzie London. He's up high. Not an easy conversion when it's a little bit slick out there.
She needs a spare here, Larry, and a 6 count in the fill ball in the 10th to win. And everybody's still battling the heavy amount of conditioner in the middle of the lane. So she's going to have to go pretty much straight at this. A lot of ways to miss it, but needs to get that ball right between the 2 and the 5. Looks pretty good so far. Oh, man.
That's the difference. So with that miss, Lincoln Southeast takes game number 1, 151-145. Certainly disappointing. You see it on the face of Mackenzie London there.
Well, everybody now has a feeling for how the lane conditions are before each of our matches. Staff here at Sun Valley Lanes cleans and conditions the lane so they're the same for each class. Going to see them playing a little more straight towards the pocket, just like that shot right there. The ball still fades at the end.
Abby Rydell now in the right-hand lane. Looking for it to cross over, and it does, but leaves the 3-pin.
And that's pretty common, Larry, with everybody coming up so light and the ball not making it up to the pocket. You're seeing people try to fit the ball there.
Skylar Halverson misses the same spare they missed in the 10th.
By doing that, have a chance to pull it also to miss to the left. So straight is great would be my motto for the rest of this match.
That was straight at the single pin conversion, and quickly Southeast jumps out to the lead.
Good shot there. Caitlin tries to carry the wall shot. She's come a long way over the last 2 weeks, coming up from JV to fill in Lincoln East.
Comes in a bit light. We've seen a lot of that right there, the 2-4-5.
Ball just not coming out of the conditioner and going into a roll. Just slow down maybe a little bit and just a little more direct towards the pocket. Covering the 5-pin.
Got it. So good conversion for East. Caitlin Hart. Southeast now trying to answer. Elena Meter. Doesn't quite get there. All even now through 2 frames. Junior Molly Gardner.
Pulled that one, Larry. Saw after
1-3-6.
Sorry about that. After the release, hand is on the top of the ball, thumb down, not the optimum release point. Better there. Better.
Just a bit low.
Yeah, hand was under the ball there. Just a little tight there, as you see.
Kelsey Dunkel.
Yep.
We talked about Kelsey earlier in this broadcast. We were talking about former high school bowlers who have gone on in the sport. Kelsey bowled collegiately at Minnesota Mankato for a few years. Now she's come back and a head coach of Lincoln Southeast, and it's these kind of bowlers who were former Nebraska high school bowlers who will continue to develop and become terrific coaches and teach the next generation of high school bowlers.
Absolutely.
Of course, Kelsey's father, Kevin Dunkel, a longtime bowler in Lincoln, longtime coach for Lincoln Southeast as well. Good carry on the left-hand lane. Big strike in the 4th by Bree Zimmer. Now up on the right, here's Amber Neiman. Neiman needs the ball to react, and it does. Boy, good reaction, just didn't get the 10 out.
It's a very good shot. Girls begin to figure it out. Everybody's pace is beginning to slow a little bit, giving the ball a chance to hook.
So London, the senior, averages 185. Comes in a little high, trips out the 6-pin and says, whew.
Caught a break.
Neiman now, the big spare.
Cross lane with a plastic ball, Larry. Got to go straight at it. But you got to get the ball over there first. Everybody is just frightened of just leaking the ball to the right, or we don't have any left-handers, so to the right to miss the pocket or miss the spares. Need to go pretty much straight at it like that.
Good cover. Now here's Sierra Johnson, the sophomore.
Different bowling ball, Larry.
Something with a little more surface and got the reaction she wanted.
Not exactly sure what the ball change was too, but that ball looked to me like it had a little more back end. 11-pin lead for Southeast, or excuse me, for East as we go to the next half. Strike working though for Southeast. So
Skylar Halverson. And Skylar rattles the 5, but can't get it to fall. Leaves the 5-7.
Big shot here.
Rydell comes up light. Southeast now trailing by 19. Needs this conversion to hold on to that lead, and can't get it. An important shot now in the left-hand lane for Abby Rydell.
It's got a hook. Well, the lead continues to grow for Lincoln East, despite a lot of open frames for both teams. Here's your senior now for Southeast. Chance for her to open the door a little further for them to come back, but leaves the 2 and the 10. At this point, Larry, I'd say you'd have to try to go for it. Yep, 7th frame, down by 2 marks.
Especially if Caitlin Hart can pick this up. That would extend that lead to 30. And it does. A 30-pin East advantage.
It's going to be a battle of who's left standing at the end here. A lot of holes in that score sheet. Chance to increase the lead. That's going to have to hook too.
$110-76 in the 7th. 34-pin advantage for East. Molly Gardner.
It's pretty good, Larry, for hooks. The comment was, thought I had it. It happened.
So now a really important strut here. And spare for Southeast. Off the wall. Head pin comes off and trips that 4-pin for the conversion.
Cuts that Lincoln East league back to 23 now. A mark is badly needed here for Lincoln East to shut out Southeast, and they get it. Not going to completely shut them out, but that gets them closer to it with that strike working in the 9th, Larry.
Bree Zimmer with another strike.
Must strike situation now for Southeast.
So Amber Neiman really slowed it up, trying to get some reaction. Does, but 7 won't go.
Beginning to figure it out a little bit. Got to adjust that speed to get the ball to react on these very, very slick lanes. That's a good shot there. Just a touch high.
Leaves the 4-pin. So Lincoln East will win game number 2. That slides by the 7-pin. Kinsey London. Very direct and covers it. 159 possible for Lincoln East. The best Lincoln Southeast could do is 134. So already game in the books for Lincoln East.
Man, just really having a tough time getting that ball towards the pocket. Just struggling enough to have to make some decisions here on maybe some equipment adjustments or something that can be done to get the ball up a little higher in the pocket area. 158 for Lincoln East. Best Lincoln Southeast can shoot with a spare and a strike will be 124. I don't think they're too far off, Larry. It's just a lot of pocket hits that didn't carry. Excuse me, and got to pick those spares up.
So one more look at the scores. Lincoln East over Lincoln Southeast, 158 to 112, and we are all even now, one apiece between Southeast and East. I want to remind you, coming up next week, the finals of the NSAA High School Swimming and Diving Championships, live from the Devaney Sports Center. Championships begin at 8 a.m. on NET1. Live webcast will be available on our website and on the new NET Nebraska. It's the NSAA High School Swimming and Diving Championships.
Nothing like being in your Speedo at 8 o'clock in the morning, Larry.
Really begin at 8 a.m.? I think that's a time change from last year. It's early. We'll be there early now.
You're the face of sports on NET, Larry. It's part of that's why you get paid the big bucks, buddy. Just a part-timer. Thank goodness.
In the face, they're in trouble. Ross Alley slides by. Lincoln Southeast out of the gates again for the third consecutive game with an early lead. They've done a nice job at the top of the order. Abby Rydell giving them the lead.
Chance there. Nope.
Elena Meter can't get it across.
Elena throws the ball really well. She has good release, good rotation on the ball. Just still struggling with finding that comfort zone of the area to play correctly on the lane. Schilke from a bowling family.
Absolutely.
He's a 6'10". Dad Jerry. Bowled with Jerry many times in tournaments, PBA events back in our younger days. Mom's a bowler too.
Get up.
Man, I've not seen the lane conditions with this lubricity in a long time. Yep.
Slides off the edge. Now Molly Gardner.
Molly with a good release, good form at the foul line.
Comes in light, leaves another washout. You struggled either the 310 or the washout or coming in light. It's just been a myriad of tough spares for both of these teams.
Well, typically on most bowling lanes, Larry, the head section of the lane, that's the front part of the lane from the foul line to the arrows, and maybe just a touch beyond, it's called the head section of the lane. That's where the most concentration of oil is, and when a ball comes off your hand, if it's not going up the boards, meaning directly straight, if it starts to squirt just a little to the right, especially with these young ladies, not a lot of them putting a lot of turn on the ball. They don't have enough rotation and enough hook to get the ball to make the reaction back to the left towards the pocket. Now, Sierra Johnson here comes out of the ball very well, but just again, you see there that the ball just a touch too far to the right. She did get it back to the pocket. I think that lane 27, the left-hand lane, has a little more hook to it than 28.
Both she and Amber Neiman both starting to zone in a little bit and find their spot. You saw Neiman on the shot before that with the strike, and there's another good ball and another strike. She's been effective. Bree Zimmer been very good.
Back and forth here.
That's the first mark of this game for Lincoln East. They had 3 consecutive opens. That needs to get out, and now 3 opens for Lincoln Southeast.
Double here, Lincoln East will cut that lead to less than 10 for Southeast. Mackenzie London can get them right back in the match.
Just doesn't get the 4. A little bit high.
It's all right. She made the adjustment. You'd rather leave 4 pins than coming in and leaving washouts or 2 10s or things like that. Now, with that shot, though, comes the chore of picking the spare up, and with the heavy concentration of oil in the middle of the lane, you need to pretty much go straight at this. You need to release the ball right at the pin. Don't give it any room for error. Try not to hook it in. That's well done.
And a good cover. With that, they regain the lead by just a few pins based on count, or at least back to even. As the 2 teams switch lanes. This Lincoln Southeast team bowls out of Parkway lanes in Lincoln. Bill Hoppy, Earl Kaut with proprietors. Sawed that in half, did Abby Rydell, and she has done a nice job at the top of the order for Southeast. They've come out in almost every game and taken a quick lead thanks to Rydell. She's had 2 strikes in this game. And that comes up just light for Skylar Halverson. 64-63, Lincoln Southeast with the advantage. That's got to hook a lot. That's going to leave a 2-4-10.
At the bucket here on lane 27, lots of different ways to miss it, but if she's square on that 2 pin, should be good cover. Oh, looked good. Ball just faded a touch at the end.
Yeah, thought she had it. Just neither team really taking charge of this match. It's back and forth, kind of mistake-ridden, and each team allowing the other to stay in it.
Strike here by Lincoln East will put them right back in the match. Just about even up the score. Having a tough time finding that comfort zone. That was Caitlin Hart.
Good shot there, mix it up and got the carry. Schilke with the strike, and a big one for Lincoln Southeast.
Pulls them back into the lead, Larry.
Now almost a necessary spare here for Lincoln East to keep this close. Deep breath.
About 20 pins. 20 pin swing here with this spare.
Deep breath by Caitlin Hart. That's a costly one. They are now down by 11, and Southeast already working on a strike, now trying to make it a double. And I think Amber Neiman right here has found where she wants to be. I'd be surprised if this not overreacted.
Yeah.
Maybe she might have tugged that a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little left, but boy, I thought it was a good shot off her hand. She slowed the ball way down, so need to make an adjustment back the other way, just slightly.
Molly Gardner light. Now on a strike, important to get 2.
If she gets 2 here, they'll have 121 in the 9th.
So 2 pins here equals 4 because she's on the strike and she has the 2.
120 in the 9th, that is. So spare here and a mark in the 9th for Lincoln East, and we're just about tied up. But you got to start with the spare here. Good job.
Good job by Molly.
And I like this strategy by Southeast coach Kelsey Dunkel of sending their anchor bowler up there in the 10th frame, Sierra Johnson. A strike here will change the attitude of the bowler.
Oh, good shot.
Great shot. Sierra can't believe it.
She wanted that too, didn't she?
Smash 8, just
threw that chin to the air after she.
Well, we need a strike here out of Lincoln East to stay in the match here. Just coming up light again.
Still a tight game though. They're going to be just a couple of pins down, and now it's really incumbent on Sierra Johnson to cover this in good pin count, and that'll put all the pressure squarely on East.
Job.
I like the approach. Get up there, do what you know you need to do.
She would have struck. It would have took a little bit of the wind out of the sails there, Larry.
Absolutely. Now this is a must spare here. Must spare. I don't think they can win.
Good shot.
Great cover.
Potential 140 for Lincoln Southeast, depending upon what Sierra Johnson does here. Lincoln East can still, with a double, win the match. So
good pin count is necessary here to force the double. And that will do it, right?
38.
38. Well, we could have a tie. We could have a strike spare tie. She must have this strike. Has to, or they lose. Got it. What a big shot. We may have a tie here. If she strikes here and keeps it on the lane of the fill ball, they win. If she doesn't strike, she must pick up the spare to tie.
Correct. Gotta have all the skills here in the booth, Larry. Math, science, all of it. It's a little left. Target. Okay.
Not bad. Now just pick it up and you force an extra frame. So what we do in high school bowling in sudden death, because you must have a winner for the game, is each coach will pick a player. And I guess we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves.
That's right.
Let her pick this up.
We're gonna defer to make sure we're not overstepping our bounds. That's got to skid a little.
Pick it up.
Yep.
Got it. All right, so 138, the final of game number 2. So now each coach will assign a player to take one shot. So you see Commissioner John Lucido saying to Pat Doherty, one of the co-head coaches, he's going to go with his anchor bowler, Sierra Johnson. And he turns to the other side to Coach Brad Jacobowski, and he also will go with his anchor bowler, Mackenzie London. And I believe London will bowl first on the left-hand lane.
We haven't had this happen in a while, Larry.
Yeah, I don't think we've had it happen on TV. A one shot. Buries it for the strike. What a shot by London. And the winner of this game, remember, goes up 2-1. So a big shot coming up for the sophomore, Sierra Johnson. She must strike to extend the game.
Looks pretty good, Larry.
Just across. Oh, she got the carry on the Brooklyn. So now each coach must pick another bowler, a different bowler. So Sierra can't bowl and Mackenzie can't bowl. So what Pat Doherty will do is pick Amber Neiman, his fourth bowler. And Jacobowski will point toward Bree Zimmer, his fourth bowler. So Bree Zimmer will bowl first. And remember, it's a one-ball roll-off.
See, I told you this is just like hockey. It's just like the shootout.
That's right. Left-hand lane, Bree Zimmer. Oh, good shot by Zimmer. Wow. Got the carry. Back-to-back strikes. How about that under pressure?
They needed the match to be tied to figure out the lane conditions, Larry.
Look at Amber Neiman. Ice water. Like she's not bothered at all. Look at that. The glare. The shot.
Got a
pretty
hook.
Good. Get up, carry. Comes up light, and Lincoln East wins the game. So 138, it goes down in the books, but East wins it in sudden death. And that means Lincoln East now leads it 2-1 over Southeast. Big shots by Bree Zimmer and Mackenzie London both for Lincoln East. Hey, next Saturday, NET Sports brings you the finals of NSAA High School Wrestling. Live from Omaha's Century Link Center, coverage in all classes and weight divisions. Begins at 3 p.m. Central on NET1. You can also catch the live webcast on our new website and on the new NET Nebraska app. So download the app today and you can watch live coverage of high school wrestling on NET. Abby Rydell has been solid all afternoon. Can't get the 5 to go.
Good shot.
Leaves the 5-7.
Sorry, Larry. Good shot. Ball just deflects just enough there at the angle of entry in the pocket to not carry that 5. Cross lane now at the 9.
Just falls off for Skylar Halverson. If you can be fairly accurate here, many times this is just depending on the lane and how it's reacting. If you just move your feet a couple of boards to the left and throw your strike ball, you can typically pick up this spare. But you have to be fairly accurate at where you're looking.
That was doubt that was the planned angle of attack there, but either way she gets 1, so it's not a tremendously bad situation, but
all even after 1. Here's Caitlin Hart.
Better shot.
Caitlin leaves the single pin. Now in the right-hand lane, Elena Meter. Good aggressive shot and gets the carry. Elena Meter with the strike as Southeast tries to extend this to a 5th and deciding game. A trail 2-1 to Lincoln East.
Cross lane at the 10. We've seen all sorts of struggles today with spare shooting.
To get out there, nope. So here's Emily Schilke. Ooh, just a bit high for Schilke. Molly Gardner now. In the left-hand lane, Gardner comes in light. Leaves the 2-7.
Still struggling with getting the ball up to the pocket, but then just enough to make everybody out of their comfort zone. I've said that a bunch of times today on staying within your game and knowing your limitations on where to play the lanes, and fairly easy cross lane spare, the 2 and the 7, even though it is a split. Should be able to go cross lane, put the ball to the left of the 2, just like that.
Good cover.
And we'll see if
needs some reaction on the back end. Comes in light, leaves the 2-8. So the sleeper back there, never an easy spare. One of these you want to hook at, or at least put some sort of angle to carry that back 8-pin.
Gotta be very accurate. Had to hit the front of the 2-pin, right in the face. This looks like a good shot, Larry. Carries
Little
the
mixer, got the 5 and the 7 to go. Bree Zimmer has been a bright spot for this East team. We talked about her play early on. She was very effective, and then she threw the strike in sudden death in game number 3.
Looks pretty good right here. Oh, just
right at the end.
A little bit of hook at the end there.
Looks like it found a dry board and took a left.
It did. It was immediate hook as it got in front of that 2-pin.
3 opens through 4 frames for Southeast. Lincoln East, which went single pin miss, is now doubled thanks to the shot of Mackenzie London. Lincoln East has been here in this state championship match twice. Oh my goodness.
Second one.
Another solid 8-pin.
Second one for Sierra.
Wow.
Just a sophomore.
Yeah, has a nice game. As I was saying, Lincoln East, this is their 3rd trip in 4 years into the finals. But Lincoln East has never won a girls' state championship. And they certainly, coming in, didn't think this would be the year they would get it. Brad Jacobowski will tell you, in his 4th year at Lincoln East, they finished 7th in conference play. They finished 7th after the qualifying round in total pins. But as he says in the bio, we are a very supportive and have good chemistry in the Bakers format. They have this never give up, don't get caught up emotionally. As that went a little high for Skylar Halverson. And right now in command, leading by 20. Here in game number 4, already up 2 games to 1. Not too late for Southeast, plenty of time. Needs to climb the hill and now needs that conversion. So working on the strike, important to get 2 here. 2 equals 4 and got it. So 93 in the 6th. Chance to cut it to a 10-pin lead with a spare here. And a fortuitous kick by the head pin. Takes out the 8. And a conversion. There's your score. So assuming 10, it's 93-82. Southeast back in it. Oh, 7-pin gets this glove tap, but not the fall.
Yeah, just a tough break there. Lincoln East still cruising along fairly well.
Here's Elena Meter.
Strike is really important here, Larry. Another split.
Small 2-7. So they trail it by 13. And you see Coach Jacobowski talking it over with Caitlin Hart.
Caitlin needs to go straight at this pin with. Doesn't throw much of a hook. She throws the ball fairly straight, taking a little extra time. Just needs to go straight at it.
Good deep breath.
Looks like she pulled it, Larry.
Yep.
All right, opens the door back open for Southeast. This isn't a gimme either, but we've seen it picked up before. The 2 and the 7. Hook the ball into the 2, just to the left of the 2-pin. And
Pace got a chance.
Or pick it up like that.
And got it the hard way. 2-pin off the wall, trips the 7, and we have a match.
2-pin lead now for Lincoln East. Down to 2 pins with that spare working for Southeast. Time for Lincoln East to kick the door back closed again with a strike.
Molly Gardner needs a reaction. Little mixer, got it.
She just, when she let go of the ball, Larry, her hands went right up in the air. She knew that was going to be light, but the ball just had enough hook at the back end to come back in and take the wall shot.
Emily Schilke gets to climb up. And that working on the spare will hurt a bit, the 6-pin count. So now down by 6 in a must spare now for Schilke.
Increase the lead to 20 with the strike here, Larry.
Bree Zimmer has been solid. Leaves that 3-pin. Should be an easy spare.
1, the 2, the 5, and the 9. Got to throw the ball right in the pocket area. It's not going to get back to the pocket enough. That is, it's getting bleaker by the moment for Southeast. About a 15-pin lead now going into the 9th frame for Lincoln East. The spare here is going to really put the pressure on Southeast. Good job, well done. All right.
Good cover and an important spare.
Pretty much need to mark at least the minimum here, Larry. Lincoln Southeast cannot afford another open frame, and Amber Neiman here, it's all on her shoulders.
Climb the hill. Will she get the mix? No. Does leave it 2. That should be manageable. Cover that up.
Amber's going to have to hope that Lincoln East has an open frame here in the 10th frame.
Mackenzie London.
Not too bad.
Good shot.
Oh, just a tough
Throws
play.
everything at the 7, but it won't fall.
Well, here's the story, Larry.
Must spare here, right?
Must spare here, and Lincoln East is going to have to pretty much.
If Lincoln East picks
open.
up, get there? No,
That's
that'll do it.
That'll do it. Lincoln East is your state champions.
How about that?
Potential 144 is all for Lincoln Southeast.
Now I want you to ask Brad Jacobowski when you interview him post-match if he thought this was the team that he would take into a state championship.
Well, and you know, you've seen it in all sports. You've seen it in hockey. You've seen it in baseball. You've seen it in basketball, where a team struggles at times during the season, but gets hot at the tournament and gets hot in the playoffs and has a chance to win. And you know, as I said at the beginning of this match, all the Lincoln Public School teams, with the support of them and the proprietors in town and the USBC, I mean, this is just a bright, bright future for bowling in Lincoln.
Well, it's a team sport for a reason, right? I mean, teams feed off each other in big moments when you make big shots like East did today. Mackenzie London with a huge shot. Bree Zimmer with a huge shot.
There's a lot of survival going on, too, with the glut of open frames. But Southeast has a young team, just one senior.
Yep.
3 sophomores and a freshman, 2 juniors, so they've got the nucleus to come back next year and do real well. You know, and you'll always have the perennial powerhouses, the Lincoln Piuses of the world, and Southwest, North Star. All of those have been great teams in the past. And you know, it's really a pretty, not completely level playing field in Lincoln when it comes to high school bowling. But you know, there isn't a particular program that is just not
right.
Does not have a chance.
That's right. So 1:30 the final for Lincoln Southeast. Thrilled to be here in this state championship. But stepping up to throw that championship shot, here is Mackenzie London. The senior averages 185, and what a feeling that must be for not only Mackenzie London, but for the Lincoln East Spartans. They win the school's first ever girls state championship. Congratulations to the Spartans of Lincoln East. When we come back, we will hear from the champions. Steve will be down in the lanes talking to them. We'll also have medal and trophy presentations when we come back, right here on NET Sports.
When something's difficult, like defying gravity or navigating the new healthcare law, why face it alone? Call or visit us at the Blue Store at nebraskablue.com. Ask Blue your questions like, what's required? And can I get help paying for it? Then rely on Blue to help you navigate the system. Most Nebraskans are required to have health insurance or face penalties. Time is almost up. Get what you need. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska.
Behind the Outlet, Nebraska Public Power District is passionate about preserving and restoring Nebraska's resources. Whether rescuing fish during canal repair work, protecting avian species on the Platte River, or complying with all environmental standards at our power generating facilities, we actively balance our environmental responsibilities with meeting Nebraska's ever-changing energy needs. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
Funding for the NHSBF State Championships was provided by the Lincoln Bowling Association through grants from the Alan and Marcia Baer Foundation and the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Reminding you that more than 1,000 high school students compete statewide in varsity bowling.
No matter how you look at it, animal agriculture helps Nebraska's economy. The livestock industry provides increased tax revenues for schools and community services. Livestock enterprises also create jobs while contributing to existing businesses such as local banks and grocery stores. A thriving livestock industry helps maintain our current way of life, but also provides opportunities for the next generation of farm families. The Nebraska Soybean Checkoff helps to raise awareness of the importance of animal agriculture to Nebraska.
They got to have their hands on them all the time.
Everyone has a cell phone and they don't want to give it up.
You can't drive down the street without seeing an adult use their cell phone.
People's lives are on their phones.
Distracted drivers are 4 times the risk of being in a crash.
Reasonable people have compared the danger associated with talking on a cell phone when you're driving to the danger of drinking and driving. And that is not an unreasonable comparison.
We've got to change society's view on texting and driving.
It is irresponsibly dangerous to talk on a cell phone while driving.
The consequences can be devastating.
The accident that I caused involved a family with kids in the car, little kids.
Convincing people to give up this thing that they really like doing is going to be really hard. But it really is a serious public safety issue.
Watch the NET production of Distracted Driving.
Coming soon to NET1.
So, welcome back to Sun Valley Lanes. Lincoln East wins it in 4, 3-1. Let's go down to the lanes to Steve Simpek.
Thanks, Larry. First ever state bowling title for Lincoln East, boys or girls, and you guys are a part of it. Coach Brad, congratulations. It looked like it took time to get everybody settled in on the lanes, kind of maybe a little nerves, a little bit of the lane conditions, making a play. What were the words of wisdom while you were down there in the settee area to get them lined up to try to move ahead?
Actually, it was just the girls themselves. They kind of knew what they needed to do. All we needed to do is just kind of move them right a little bit, and that was about it, just a board or two, and they were pretty much right in there. So it was they've kind of done this all year, just being able to just make little adjustments, and I'm very proud of them. Brad, was this at the beginning of the season, knowing that you had kind of a young squad, not a lot of bowlers on your team, did you really think that we all hope it'd be the end result, but did you really think you could get this far? And even if you did think so, it's a great testament to your coaching ability. Well, I don't know if it's my coaching. I think the girls kind of overcame my coaching at this point here, but it was wonderful. We looked at the 012 state finals when we were there, and it's like, do you guys want to do this? And they said, yes, we want to. And I really wasn't sure, but the girls decided to do it, and they did it. So that was wonderful for them. Congratulations, Coach. Mackenzie London, you're the lone senior on the team. So were you in charge of all these wild gals down there? What did you do to keep your team going?
Oh, yeah, they're kind of scared of me sometimes, so, have to just keep them straight.
Well, you brought enough fans and friends. My gosh, we standing room only here at Sun Valley Lanes. They pretty much had to throw me and Larry out of the booth. What was going through your mind during the roll-off in game 3 that was?
Well, I really didn't know what we were doing at first. I was like, well, I guess I'll just bowl. I didn't know really what, and then I striked, and then she striked, and I guess it was just whoever got the most pins, so I'm really proud of my girls for sticking to that, no pressure, So.
Well, that's great. Well, congratulations. Lincoln East, the Lady Spartans, the first state championship in their trophy case from the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Congratulations, Coach and Mackenzie. Larry, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, and congratulations once again to Lincoln East, the girls' state champs. Hey, singles competition was also contested, and we take a look at the top 5. They would be first team All-State. North Platte, Kylie Collins won it all. Emily Weirs of North Star. You see Lincoln Northeast on there, Pius 10th, North Star, Pius 10th, and of course the bottom 5 would be second team All-State. So that's a look at the singles competition. Congratulations, though, to those fans. First ever title. The Nebraska High School Bowling Federation for Lincoln East. Now for trophy and medal presentations. Let's go to Greg Porchy.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more round of applause for our 2 finalists? And now for the awards presentation. Your Class A girls runner-up, the Lincoln Southeast Knights. Coaches Kelsey Dunkel and Pat Doherty. Number 8, Elena Meter. Number 6, Abby Rydell. Number 5, Emily Schilke. Number 4, Amber Neiman. Number 7, Sierra Johnson. Number 2, Kayla Prater. Number 3, Kia Broderson. And ladies, here's your runner-up trophy. Congratulations to the Lincoln Southeast Knights, your Class A girls runner-up. Now, here is your 2013-2014 Class A girls champions, the Lincoln East Spartans. Coaches Brad Jigabowski and Mary Lears. Number 20, Skylar Halverson. Number 30, Caitlin Hart. Number 7, Molly Gardner. Number 17, Bree Zimmer. Number 21, Mackenzie London. And ladies, here's your championship trophy. Congratulations to the 2013-2014 Class A Girls Champions.
First ever state championship for the Spartans of Lincoln East. Congratulations to Coach Jacobowski and the players, Coach Mary Lears as well. Outstanding job by those ladies winning their first ever state championship. We've had some terrific champions throughout this morning right here on NET. It started early this morning, as you might remember, with Newman Grove taking the title. North Bend had an outstanding performance from their young team. They win at Waverly after 3 consecutive trips here, finally win a state championship, their first ever, and Lincoln East right here in Class A wins its first ever state championship. Want to remind you, coming up next week, same time, right here on NET Sports, the Nebraska High School Boys State Championships. That's 8 a.m. next Sunday right here on NET Sports. You don't want to miss it. So that will do it for the Girls State Championship. Congratulations to all of our champions and for our entire hard-working NET Sports production crew that has such a busy month coming up. For Steve Simpak, I'm Larry Putney, and for the entire crew, thanks so much for joining us right here at Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln for the Nebraska High School Boys Girls Bowling State Championship.
Ever wish your bank were right at your fingertips?
Hey, honey, can I keep it? I know, right? I'm gonna go strap it to the car. Mom, do you have any idea how expensive books are?
It was such a lovely time. Oh, you know what? Don't forget to give me that. Whoops, that was expensive. I can pay for that.
In branch, online, on your iPad, iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry, U.S. Bank is there when you need us.
Hey Mom, I need to talk to you about something. You took me on campus visits and helped me with college applications, but there's still something we haven't done yet. It's time to complete the FAFSA so I can get financial aid. I know you've been stressed out about this, but don't worry. Education Quest has tons of resources on their website to make the process really easy. You guys have been there for me every step of the way. Just returning the favor.
Get help with your FAFSA at educationquest.org.
Funding for the NHSBF State Championships was provided by the Lincoln Bowling Association through grants from the Alan and Marcia Baer Foundation and the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Reminding you that more than 1,000 high school students compete statewide in varsity bowling.
Whether it's spring planting, fall harvesting, or just a drive across the state, soy biodiesel helps a diesel-powered engine operate in a demanding job. Soybean oil from Nebraska soybeans makes biodiesel a renewable fuel that's also environmentally responsible. The soybean checkoff plays a major role in supporting the use and availability of biodiesel. The Nebraska Soybean Board, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Tom Kelly's Pro Shop is your home for bowling supplies. Established in 1980, the shop offers 45 different shoe styles, including the complete line of Brunswick, thousands of balls, and over 200 different styles of bags. A father and son team with experience in drilling since 1958 use customized hand measuring and the latest equipment to provide you with the right fit. You can walk in, find everything you need, and go bowling the same day. Tom Kelly's Pro Shop, located in Omaha and Norfolk.